So for no reason, I've decided to make some piranha solution, which is probably one of the angriest liquids that you can make in the lab. To do this, I just have to start with some concentrated sulfuric acid and then carefully add 30% hydrogen peroxide. It's important that I do this very carefully and to never add too much peroxide because it can actually become explosive. It also gets really hot and this mixture is able to destroy most organic things. I always find it fun to add stuff like paper to it because it just instantly turns it into carbon and then it vaporizes it into CO2 gas. In the past, I've also done it with things like a fortune cookie, and it was able to completely destroy it in seconds. Okay, so today, I've decided to dissolve my wiener in acid. I'm not just going to be using any acid though, and I'm going to be using something special called piranha solution. It's a hot and angry mixture of sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide, and I basically just have to drop it in. It almost immediately turns black, and this is all carbon. Now, if I add some more peroxide, I can vaporize the carbon and turn it into CO2 gas. I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm still going to mention that this is extremely dangerous. If any of this splashed on me, it would do something very similar, which wouldn't be super pleasant. It eventually looked like there was barely any of it left, and it was just a sad little meat noodle. Then, over the next 30 seconds or so, it calmed down, and it was ready for another wiener. What I have here is a really hot and scary mixture of sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide, also known as piranha solution, and this is just a regular chicken drumstick. I've been really curious to know what it would do to a piece of chicken, and I'll just carefully lower it in. Almost immediately, it started bubbling, and the reaction slowly got more and more violent. I was a bit worried that it would spill out of the beaker, which would have been a huge disaster. It thankfully started calming down though, which was good, but once it had cleared up, I was absolutely horrified by what I saw. The entire part that was in the acid was gone. Everything, including the bone, had apparently been removed, and it was almost like the drumstick had been sliced in half. I then continued adding peroxide, and the reaction started getting violent again. The piranha solution was vaporizing anything that was made of carbon and turning it into CO2 gas. It was also apparently dissolving the bone, which is something I really didn't expect. When I eventually stopped adding the peroxide, I was actually shocked by what I saw. There was absolutely nothing left, and I think this is one of the most terrifying things I've ever done.